Hi, everybody. Welcome back from the holidays. It's been a while. Um, Before we continue with Chapter 4 of the NQF4 PDE exam file, I just want you to get an overview of what we are currently doing. And I'm going to break it down per chapter that you know where we are and that we're all on the same page. So this is just an overview of the PDE NQF4 exam file. Now, we've done chapter 1 to chapter 3. Basically, everything contained in those chapters is communication. It's all about communication, oral, written, perceptions, the context of communication. It's quite important. Because South Africa is such a diverse country, just to see that everybody is on the same page, that we have the same linguistic contextualization, that we all have the same linguistic ideas about specific terms. Chapter 4 is again about communication. Chapter 5 is starting to get interesting. It's about statistics. You're just going to do a bit overview of statistics. You're going to see how to organize the data. You're going to see how to measure the data. You're going to look into probabilities of statistics, and you're going to also learn how to communicate your findings of probability statements and the statistic, how you communicate your data findings to your clients. Chapter 6 and 7 is again communication. Then if you look at chapter 8, it is measurement contexts. There you will learn that this is now getting interesting. Your FAR, your floor area ratio, your building plans. It's all about measurements in the industry. So that's going to be very interesting. Chapter 9 is maths, and I will also guide you through that. Chapter 10 and 11 is again communication. Chapter 12 is financials, where you're going to look at your different financing options. It's always good to refer your buyers to a bond originator, but you also need to know what it's all about. Let's say they come to your office and they discuss various financing options. You can't sit like a palooka there. You're going to have to more know a bit, even if it's only ground level, but you will have to know this information. Chapter 13 is your business principles. There you're going to learn of budgeting, budgeting forecasts, etc. Chapter 14 is all to do with your real estate environment, what's happening in the environment. Chapter 15 is everything to do with your FAIS, your financial advisory and intermediary services, and you're going to learn about the Act as well. Chapter 16 is very important. It is your legislation. Chapter 17 is all about money laundering, just as important. Chapter 18 is very interesting. It's going to be your self-development, and I saw you're going to do the Myers-Briggs. That's good. You will have to be familiar with the content of the self-development. 1 or 2 questions might come from there. Chapter 19 is the core of your work: marketing, selling, and leasing properties. It's very important. Chapter 20, extremely important, your code of conduct for real estate agents. And chapter 21, again, you're going to discuss bonds, financing options, your loans, your mortgages. Chapter 22 is different investment options. And now you're going to ask, why do I need to know anything about different financing options? It is to guide your clients if they might ask you a question, but always it's basically to prepare you from ground level, that you can communicate on a professional basis tone to your clients. So it's good to have a bit of an overview there as well. Even more important is to familiarize yourself with continuous education in this field. It's like news articles. You will see on the training WhatsApp group, I try to send you as much news articles of the industry I possibly can. It's very good to always stay up to date with market trends and knowledge and new legislation, etc., etc. Chapter 23 is the registration process. It's going to be the registration of the bond, it's going to be the registration of the property, and the involvement of all stakeholders in the registration process. So that's also very important. Chapter 24 is all about management in the environment. So it's good that you have knowledge about that as well. I want to share my screen now with you. Because it is, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and I'm going to share it with you. Let me just share it. And I want to open up introduction. Now, this is the introduction of your PDE file. Let me just make this bigger, enlarge it. Okay, now I just want us to go a bit down. This is your, okay, on page 16 of the introduction. It's quite important because now you're going to familiarize yourself and see how many credits is allocated to the content. So this is just to give you an overview that you can know. There we go. I just want to make it a bit bigger for you. I'm going to say zoom. Let's say actual size. There we go. Now you can see better. So we're going to start advice role players on real estate. You can see they allocated 6 credits to that. Now that will be typically your chapter 23 with your registration processes, your bond and property and all your stakeholders, your business principle to the real estate function. That can be a code of conduct, management, but they allocate actually 8 credits to that. Demonstrate an understanding of the real estate environment, also 8 credits. The Phase Act, there's 2 credits over there. Legislation, very important because we've got a chapter 16 is only about legislation in the real estate industry with all the applicable laws. That's 12. Okay, money laundering, you've got a chapter on money laundering. It's chapter 17. So my advice to you is maybe just on the next page, go and write down all the chapters relevant to your credits that you can know where you have to focus on more. Okay, manage self-development. They've got 8 credits there, which is quite a lot. Okay, so self-development, let me just quickly see, is chapter 18. Okay, market, sell, and lease a property. Again, it's 20 credits. That's the core. Okay, that's chapter 19. Okay, demonstrate knowledge and apply the real estate code of conduct, which is very important. That's 6 credits. Okay, accommodate audience and context needs. That's your communication. 5. Interpret a variety of literary texts. Okay, there you're going to see the tones. We already went through that. I think this is now chapter 4. It's 5 credits. Interpret and use information from texts. This is again, I think, chapter 4, and it's 5 credits. Write or present signed text for a range of communicative contexts. It's 5 credits. This, I think, is in the first 3 chapters. Apply knowledge of statistics and probability to critically interrogate and effectively communicate findings of on life-related problems. Okay, that's again your communication. Knowledge of statistical and probability. No, sorry, this is your statistical chapter 5, your stats. So just make a note there that that is chapter 5. Oral and signed communication, again, spoken and signed text, it's 5 credits. Read, view, analyze, and respond to a variety of texts, that's again your communication. Analyze and calculate shape and motion. Okay, shape and motion will be either in your measurement. Okay, it will be, remember I told you you're going to do measurements because you're going to calculate a shape and motion in 2 and 3 dimension space in different contexts. So it's either going to be chapter 8, I think, yeah, and maybe a bit of maths because they might tell you how to calculate it. Okay. Then maths, use mathematics to investigate and monitor the financial aspects of personal, business, and national and international issues. So if you're going to use maths, chapter 9, and you're going to look at personal business management. So this is basically a combination of your maths and then your management, I suppose. Use the writing process to compose texts required for business environment. This is now formal communication. And this is in chapter 4 that we're going to do after this overview session. Write, present a wide range of contexts. This is the linguistic chapter 1 to 4. Demonstrate knowledge and understanding of mortgage bonds as a form of debt security. You've got that financing options. So you do your financials 12, or it could be chapter 21 where you only focus on the bonds. Okay. So it's good to write the chapters there that you know. Develop administrative procedures in a selected organization. That will be your management, I suppose. That's chapter 24. Develop, implement, and evaluate a marketing strategy for new ventures. That's 8 credits as well. That administrative procedures was also 8 credits. So very important to familiarize yourself with the credits involved. Information and reports for internal and external use. That will be reports. So that will be, it can be finances or it can be management as well. Identify and apply property, assets, and investment management principles. That's definitely chapter 24. Identify and coordinate facilities management opportunities. Facilities, that will be your financing options. Manage administration records. We all know that's for 5 years, so that will either be in the code of conduct for real estate agents where they tell you, and also your legislation, chapter 16, and code of conduct is chapter 20. So it's very important that you make notes of this, okay? And remember, to manage the administration records is not only to keep the files. You need to, how are you going to keep it? In a safe that's fireproof. Electronic records, how are you going to keep that? So it's not only a file, keeping of a file, okay? Motivate and build a team is management. It's chapter 24. Research, yeah, and that is 10 credits. Motivate and build a team, okay? Research the viability of new venture ideas and opportunities. You will look at that. That will, the viability, if you're going to look at the viability, you're going to look at your financials also. And you're going to look at your management, which is chapter 24. So I suggest you, I gave you the overview of the chapters. Go through that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Let me just exit here. And I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So what I suggest is allocate your chapters to the credit units they provided on in the introduction section of the NQF4 file. Write the chapters on the right-hand side. If you want me to go through the chapters that you wrote, you're welcome to email me your page. with your chapter numbers, that I can also review it for you and see if you allocated the correct chapters to the correct content. It's very important that you look at that before while you're working through the content with me. I'm gonna finish this recording and I'm gonna start with chapter 4, which is the end of this communication section, and then we're gonna continue with chapter 5, which is statistics. And then from there on, it's not only linguistic communication, it becomes more relevant to the real estate agency. I think chapter 1 to 4 was just a warm up. You will see we'll do literature, grammar, communication in a formal tone, a professional tone, informal tone. It's just that so that we all are on the same page taking it forward. So they do ask you questions of that. I think there was in total 20 credits if you combine it all. So that's why I want you to work through the credits to see all the chapters that is really relevant, where the most credits is situated in the chapters. And then you will automatically know what is very important. So you can email me that. And the next recording will be chapter 4. Okay, so I hope we more or less I've got your attention, focus, and then I'm going to start with chapter 4, finish that, and then we'll continue. Statistics will be a bit more involved. I will also need to prepare my presentation first to you, but I will try to make it as simplistic as possible that you can understand that. But as for the communication, we're going to do chapter 4 now finished. So if there's any questions from chapter 1 to 4 that you want to ask me, you can either WhatsApp me or I prefer email. You can email me and I will gladly answer your questions. If it's more a case of you need to communicate verbally with me, you're more than welcome to just let me know when you want to have a WhatsApp call and I will gladly assist. Now, this is only relevant from chapters 1 to 4. Okay. The statistics is going to be a bit more involved and our lesson might go a bit over an hour. I try to minimize the time per chapter, only 1 hour, and I really try to focus on the essentials. While we go through the files, and I want you to have your file open and highlight and compare with my file that is on screen. If you want me to email you the chapters as I made the notes and the highlights, please let me know and I will email it to you gladly. Okay, so have a wonderful day further and I'll chat to you soon when we do chapter 4. Okay, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.